I'd like to introduce Larry Bodine. I think most of you know Larry quite well. Larry is our election director, as well as Christina Early. Larry, take her away.
All right. Thanks very much, Joe. Pursuant to the newly adopted bylaws, the election date for the Executive Board of Democrats of Greater Tucson was postponed until today, December 16. The election for 11 open seats on the board was announced at the previous two DGT meetings and also in several email newsletters to the 200 paid members of DGT and the general mailing list of 2,000 people. Two election directors were appointed to administer the election. I was named as the director who is a board member, and Christina Early was named as a director who is a non-board member. The terms of the executive board are now 2 years under the new bylaws, and candidates were called on to nominate themselves by notifying me by December 9th. At the deadline, DGT received 11 nominations for the 11 open seats. And Joe and I sent an email on December 14 with pictures and very brief bios of all the candidates. Because none of the candidates has an opponent, there is no requirement to hold a person-by-person election. And I hereby declare all the candidates elected by acclamation. And I ask you to please join me in welcoming your new board members. Welcome, new board members. Let me ask them now to introduce themselves to you with a 3-minute introduction max, starting with our newest board members and concluding with our longest-serving board members. Let's get the party started with Chris Kosico. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Thank you so much. Hello, everybody. For those who don't know me, my name is Chris Kosico. I recognize a few of your faces here, having worked on the campaign. And that's the main thing about me is I worked on this last cycle, initially as a field organizer and then eventually promoted to regional organizing director. Prior to that, my career initially started in the world of fire and EMS. I worked front lines on the pandemic as an EMT, administering vaccines and COVID tests. And I'm also a volunteer firefighter. Very happy to join the board. One thing that I said a lot while working as part of the coordinated campaign was that there is the perception that, and there is some truth to it, that the coordinated campaign is made up of a bunch of kids who come from out of state and don't really have stakes in whatever it is that they're working on as far as a local level. I do. And I wanted to make sure that I wasn't just giving lip service and staying engaged and plugged in with whatever it is going on as far as local democratic politics and, of course, nationwide. So I'm very happy to be part of the board. Yeah, I suppose with that, I'll turn it over to the other Chris, who was recently elected.
Thanks very much. And we understand you're a student at Catholic University, and we're just thrilled to have young people on the board now.
Catholic University here in Tucson, right?
That's right. Thank you for reminding me of that. I'm a student at Catholic U. Those who maybe spent some time in DC might know the main campus. There is a satellite campus here on Tucson. And I'm also, I should mention, a member of the board for College Democrats of Arizona, trying to stay as involved as I can.
Thanks very much. And now let's turn to member at large, Chris Greenleaf. Go ahead, Chris, please.
Hi, everybody. My name is Chris Greenleaf. Thanks so much for having me. I'm really looking forward to this opportunity. I am a graduate student at the University of Arizona, currently pursuing my master's degree in education. And part of that means I am a student teacher at Tinker Verde High School here in Tucson. And then hopefully, if everything goes well, I'm looking at starting my first year as a teacher in August of this upcoming year. As far as my background in politics goes, I've been volunteering for campaigns since 2016 when I volunteered for Hillary Clinton's campaign, also for Ann Kirkpatrick's Senate campaign. I have a degree in political science and history, so I'm hoping to bring a unique perspective to the board, and I'm looking forward to all of the opportunities that we're going to have together moving forward over these next couple of years.
Fantastic.
Welcome.
And now let's turn to Trey Rhodes. Trey, go ahead and give us your 3-minute introduction, please.
I just want to thank Joe, Larry, and Susie Anderson for helping me with this opportunity and this nomination. It's wonderful to see everybody here today. I'm excited to meet everybody and get to know everybody and put in some great work. Hopefully I'll be able to bring in some more youth engagement and engagement from minority groups. I'm really excited. Let's get after it.
Awesome. Welcome aboard. So we have at least 3 students on board, and we're absolutely thrilled about that.
Which university do you go to, Trey?
Oh, thank you again for reminding me that I go to the University of Arizona. I'm studying political science and economics currently.
Great. We're
Yeah.
glad you're here.
Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Let's now turn to Maria Parsons. She is starting her 2nd term, had a very exciting campaign season. Maria, please introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Maria Parsons. Like you said, this will be my 2nd term on the board here. I do a lot of communications for DGT. If you are signed up for our weekly newsletter, I'm the one who sends that out. If you're not currently signed up for that, you should be. I've been involved in local politics since 2019. And this past year, some of you might also know me as I was a regional organizing director for the coordinated campaign. So very excited to continue being involved in local politics and in this community, continuing to make a difference.
Let's turn now to a member at large, Kalyana Raman Baradan. Go right ahead, Baradan.
He's not on the participants list.
Yeah, understood. Baradan is starting his 2nd term. He served on the LD21 board and also served on the Pima County Democratic Party board. Baradan has been on the state board of Asian American and Pacific Islander caucuses of the Democratic Party.
He also chaired the bylaws committee, which was a tremendous amount of work.
While we've got you on the speaker, go ahead, Susie. You are the next member at large that I wanted to introduce. Tell us.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Yes, I am stepping down from membership and handing it over to a very, very good new membership director, Sherry Goncharski. I have had so much fun working with this board, the last board. I'm so excited about our young people. Met Trey last year, and I'm so glad he stepped up to be on our board. Anxious to meet the other 2, but I'm just the old person on the board. And I don't know whether I bring any wisdom or not, but I'm here. So I bring vocalism.
Well, Susie, I think you're selling yourself short. Our membership is now over 200. Is that not correct?
Yes, that is correct. 202.
Thank
And
you
for this year, we've got 33 new members already for 2025.
And I know you send personal emails to people when they come to the meeting and you persuade them to join. Is that right?
Yes, I do. And I would also like to encourage people who know about tabling possibilities to let one of us know, either Joe or myself or Sherry, where those events might occur, because that's what we need to do in this next year and beyond. We can't just sit and wait for the next election. We need to get out and meet people where they live.
Yeah, and Susie, you've been our inspiration on tabling. Where have we been as far as events go?
We were down at the park. Grady helped me out there. I think it might have been a Peace Fair. Those are pretty much the only ones we got to do. But we're really looking forward to maybe Gay Pride Day, anything else, labor movements, neighborhood gatherings. Please just fill us in and we'll be happy to come and give you information on us, groups who are needing help.
Thanks very much for everything you do, Susie.
It's my pleasure to work with people like you and Mike and everybody else.
Thank you. Okay, let us now turn to our treasurer, Tim Sultan. Tim is going to be starting his 2nd term. Tim, take it away.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tim Sultan, and I had the great honor last year of serving as your treasurer with people like Susie. Susie, thanks for everything you did with membership. Such a pleasure to work with you all year. And I'm so happy you are passing the reins now to Sherry, because she's awesome and has great ideas. Our board really has committed people who have a wealth of knowledge. She's like a 25-year-old AI computer programmer at a computer and teaching me things, and right? And we all have something to learn from each other. And then Mike with his AI capability and keeping us on track and everything on the website and the leadership that we have, and Larry, who is always there with us. What a great team this is. And I hope to, by acclamation, we all get a chance to do this again. So what fun we're going to have this coming year. Our finances are in tight order. Thanks to everyone else keeping track of things and sending me stuff that we need. And we've reported stuff on time. And by way of background, I'm from Tucson. I just reported to Maria Parsons, who was my boss on the campaign. And I worked with Chris Cosico also on the campaign. And that was a barrel of fun. But by way of career-wise, I work to help startups launch using the latest technology, including AI and other Web3 technologies. And that's a load of fun. But I do politics on the side, and glad to be a part of DGT for another year.
Awesome. Welcome aboard, Tim.
Thank you.
You're already on the board, so welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, let's turn to George Beverly. George is the secretary, and he's been elected to a second term. Go right ahead, George.
Good afternoon, everybody. George Beverly. Thank you for the opportunity again to be the secretary. Had a great time this year and the year before, just knowing everybody, getting to meet, share ideas. And even though the election didn't go the way that we wanted to go, we still have to push forward and encourage one another to do the great work that we always wanted to do and continue to do. I'm looking forward to meeting the new members of the board, working with the new members of the board, and just talking to them and getting a better understanding of what they feel might happen with going forward. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, now let me turn to the second vice president for membership, a new position for Sherry Goncharski. Sherry, go ahead and tell us about yourself.
I've been in Tucson since 1980, so I guess I'm a semi-native. My only experience with really campaigning in college, I went out and campaigned for Bobby Kennedy. I'm not one of the younger members, but 2017, I took Larry Bodine's class at Ollie on getting involved in local politics, and I've been getting more and more involved since then. My background is in math and computer science, and I worked for IBM for 32 years, and then I had a consulting business for 15 years. So I came to DGT and said, do you need help with your technology stuff? And Susie said, can you help me with the membership database? And I realized that the best way to do it was to be part of the board. And I'm an LD18 committee person and look forward to making a difference in the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sherry. You're also a tech host for the University of Arizona's Ollie program, and that's how we first met. And now let's turn to someone we all know and love, and that would be Michael Bryant. Michael, tell us about yourself. You're one of the best known members of the board, but fill us in.
My name is Mike Bryant. I'm a retired attorney from Tucson, Arizona. As you can see from my little QR code there, I also run Blog for Arizona. Several of my friends and associates, including Larry there, also write for the blog. We had an interesting program year, I think. We did some innovations. We had some live debates, which was good fun, especially for local races that otherwise may not have had live debates available for people. And we did all kinds of programming from, all over the state, as well as some interesting special programs. I think it was last year that Larry put together one as a fundraiser with a nationally recognized fellow. What was his name, Larry?
Frank Figluzzi.
We had some evening programs. I think we're going to look forward to getting people more used to coming to evening programming as well. But I'm looking forward to full 2 years of great programming to educate the public about Arizona politics and Arizona policy with office holders and office seekers from around the state, especially concentrating here in Southern Arizona on more local races where there's not a lot of information available oftentimes. So that's going to be good fun, and I look forward to all our membership's input on what they might like to see in terms of programming, especially our new younger board members. I encourage them to step up with program ideas. I'm hoping to entertain everybody and inform everybody in the community. And thank you all for another term here leading the programs here at Democrats of Greater Tucson.
Awesome. Welcome back, Mike. You do a terrific job with programs, and I've had a chance to see and be able to ask questions of some really interesting people. So looking forward to the next 2 years with you.
Just one last note is we have 25 people here. All of them are members, and I encourage you to step forward with volunteer activities. We certainly have opportunities for people who can help us coordinate and help us do technical things. One of the biggest needs that we have is people to process our videos, because that's like a large part of what we do, and it takes some time. So if you have any technical expertise in video editing, step forward, let me know. I'll put you on our video editing team. We have a couple of people there now, but we can always use more to spread the workload. And of course, we have events such as our upcoming Drinking Democratically at Brother John's, and we can always use volunteers for those to help staff those out and orient members, welcome members. And if you're somebody who has some experience with volunteer coordination, we can always use your help too. Let me or Joe know if you have some expertise that you want to apply to Democrats of Greater Tucson and help us out. Thanks.
And then last but not least, our returning president, Joe Danishevsky, is starting another 2-year term. And Joe, tell us about yourself and what we've got to look forward to.
It's fun to hear names like Bobby Kennedy. My big entry into political campaigning was making sure my mom and dad voted for Hubert Humphrey in 1968. And there's a lot that's happened between then and now. I've been really fortunate to have a great board to work with. Kat Stratford, I mentioned as far as outreach goes. We also had Miranda Lopez, who's stepping off the board, but she was on our bylaws committee with Mike and also with Brathen and also with Maria Parsons. They did the homework, and we have a very extensive bylaws now that we can build on. And one of the things I'd like to see in 2025 is a standing committee on bylaws and operations. If that's something you have some experience with or would like to get some experience with, just let me know. The other person that is stepping off the board, he's been a very faithful, long-time member of the board, and he's been our treasurer for quite a while. And he did a great job of bringing Tim Sultan, our current treasurer, up to speed. And Steve, thank you for everything that you've done for the Democrats of Greater Tucson over the years. And I know that you will still be a strong supporter. Thank you so very much. It's really been a return for Democrats of Greater Tucson to live programming. We pretty much have relied on Zoom since COVID. And if you think about it, Mike hit on some of those. Mike organized 3 Democratic candidate debates that were, we think, a first for Democrats Greater Tucson. We also had an event, a luau for Kirsten Engel, that Larry Bodine organized. Larry, that was awesome, creative, imaginative, and things that we need to do more. We had a luncheon with Ruben Gallego, and a couple of our members really made a difference in securing Ruben's presence. It was awesome to see the focus that he had, the story that he told. Aren't we all proud of him for winning that Senate seat? We also had at the time a Biden-Harris blastoff. We didn't know at the time that it was going to be a blastoff for part of that ticket. But we had a wonderful event at Brother John's. We had a great crowd, and we had well over 20 candidates that stepped up, made their 2-minute pitch, and we helped elect. Don't ever forget in Pima County the successes we did have, and those successes are something to build on. We also committed to help the Arizona Democratic Legislative Campaign Committee. The results were not quite what we had hoped for, which was for both the Senate and the House here in Arizona that we would have majorities. But I think we learned a lot, and we learned once again how important it is to have really strong candidates. And one that I would like to shout out to is the candidate that did a great job in LD 17. There were 2 wonderful candidates, of course, John McClain and then Kevin Vogt. Kevin worked through at least 3 pair of shoes while he was canvassing that district, and he proved that's a gateway to success. We had a 4th of July party. Larry was a great partner on that, working with him. Christina and also Susie were awesome in helping set up and clean up, and I really appreciate the work you did. I think the other thing too, on the 4th of July, and Larry and I came to this at the same time, the American flag is part of who we are as Democrats, and we cannot let any other party or entity monopolize the American flag. And we had a wonderful program with candidates and community leaders who talked about what the 4th of July meant to them. It was a great program, a great day. Please come and enjoy each other's company. We're going to have a lot of candidates there to pat on the back. You can join in that. We're going to have some folks from Pima County Democratic Party who are going to be sending off with best wishes. So thanks for all the time and energy. I hope you look to DGT as your beacon of friendship and fellowship and democratic principles. One of our members said that no matter what the election brought us, it was going to be a bumpy ride. But let's do it together. Let's be there for each other. Let's share ideas. Let's be looking for good candidates. We really had a lot of good candidates in 2024. Before you know it, we'll be talking about 2026. And that's what our focus should be. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Christina. Really appreciate it. And let's have a great holiday season. Back to you, Larry.